Hello and welcome to this week's Good Pub Guide. This week we're at the Adam and Eve. It's a nice little pub. It's about 700 years old apparently. It's just behind the cathedral, which I can see over there. Now the proprietor is one Richard Gray, and we're going to go in now and have a few drinks and see what he's got to offer us. Well, Richard, I'm told that the Adam and Eve is a unique pub. Could you tell us what's unique about it?
Well, it's the oldest pub in Norfolk. It's 700 years old. Not only is it the oldest, it's haunted as well. I've had mediums down, and they say it's haunted, and I've seen things, heard things.
Have you seen a ghost apparition or some kind?
Well, I would say I've seen something. I know what it is. It's a person, but everybody I tell sort of laughs, apart from mediums. But it is haunted. It has its creaks and its groans, and about once a week in the middle of the month, it does all sorts of strange things.
So a pub with character, to say the least.
Very much with character, very much. At one time, it used to be the smallest pub in Norwich as well, because the area we're in at the moment is the old cellar, which was the last place to sell real ale, straight from the barrels. And the room upstairs was divided into two, and then it was just two little small rooms, no bar. And the landlady then used to come down with a jug and pour out the beer. But since modern times have come along, we've needed the space, so we turned the cellar into a bar. So now it's just the oldest.
So what beers do you serve?
Beers. I sell S&P, done by Norwich Brewery, Yorkshire, Real Ale, Bullard's Mild, and then apart from the other ones like Carlsberg, Holsten, Guinness, and the ciders, which are very popular.
Are you with a brewery or are you a free house?
No, I wish it was a free house. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm tied up with Norwich Brewery. If I was a free house, then it would be the best pub in Norfolk.
Well, what's the advantages of being a free house?
You can delegate which beers you'd like to have in. You can go with the trends, Adnams, Green King, Ruddles, that type of beers you don't get too often in this part of East Anglia.
Now, the Adam and Eve is situated directly behind the cathedral, isn't it? And you get a lot of custom on Sunday lunchtimes, don't you? Very
busy on Sundays. We have a lot of people come straight out of the cathedral, straight into the pub. You know, they worship all morning, and then they come and worship again from 12 to 2. And a different kind of worship. It's a lot of regulars. Lunchtime trade is totally different. Lunchtime trade is all business people. It's all lunches. We do lunches every day of the week. Evening times, we have a lot of UEA students, a lot of regulars. We have a darts team, which meet a couple of times a week. So it's a different turnaround of customers in the evening.
Now, you've won some awards in the past, haven't you?
Yes, last year I won the Bar Snacks Award for East Anglia. I was awarded Le Routier, and this year we won the Innkeeper Award for Norwich Brewery. So we're very pleased.
That's very impressive, and all best for the future, then.
Oh, yes, not too bad. And it's all done in less than 2 years, because that's just about as long as I've been here.
Only here for 2 years?
Only two years next week.
You're going to be here much longer?
I hope to be here another 5 years at least.
Okay, great, thanks a lot. Right, as a typical Adam and Eve regular, why do you come to this pub in particular?
It's the oldie worldy charm of the place, first and foremost, I think. I like the old beams, and it would tend to give it a special kind of atmosphere, which is nice and homely. And the other thing that I think is important is food as well, because there's a nice spread of food, especially if you're vegetarian. There's not many places you can go that only offer meat. So it's a combination of things, but first and foremost, the atmosphere.
How regular do you come then?
Once, maybe twice a week. Don't like to go to the same place all the time.
Well, where else do you go?
Any other pub in the city that's got a similar kind of atmosphere to this. I like the old beams. I like the oldie worldy charm, if you like. It sounds terribly old-fashioned, but it's nice. It's nice to get away from technology and telephones and television, and just sit quietly and chat.
Right, I'm talking to another regular now, Lucky Sinclair. How long have you been a regular here at the Adam and Eve?
Oh, about a year now. Although I've lived here for 7 years, I've often wanted to come down here, and I decided to one day. I liked it. Nice place, nice atmosphere.
How often do you drink here?
Pardon?
How often do you drink here?
Oh, well, actually, I'm rather set in my ways. Wherever I've travelled in the world, I've always liked to have a Saturday and Sunday lunchtime pint. So it's every Saturday and Sunday, without fail, anywhere I am.
Oh, you've got your own mug here, haven't you?
Yes,
your own,
yes.
Your
It
own
was
tankard.
presented to me by my lads and lasses when I left the Air Force at Coltishall.
Yeah. Let's have a look at it. So you're in the RAF. There's an
I was.
inscription on here. What does the inscription say?
Pardon?
What does the inscription say?
Well, let's have a look. To lucky from friends, we lose others' game. RAF Coltishall, November 1979.
How long were you in the RAF for then?
30 years. I came out after the war, but I came back 7 years later. Otherwise, I'd have done 37.
What were you?
But I was a warrant officer. I finished up as a warrant officer. In the supply and the supply trade and the movements, you know, we used to fly around, you know, with these squadrons on exercise, load and lash the aircraft, that sort of thing. That's rather interesting.
Getting back to the pub, what in particular is it about the Adam and Eve that brings you here?
Well, I like old places. That's one of the reasons why we settled in Norwich, because they blended the old and new very well. And I like the atmosphere here. And the people, they're very friendly, very nice. And as I said before, especially in the summer, you know, when it's very hot, they serve a lovely cool pint, and I like that.
Well, there you go. That was the Adam and Eve. Not a bad place, but I've got to give it some points out of 10 now, which is a very difficult thing to do. I'd say probably 8 out of 10. It's got a wonderful atmosphere. It's about, obviously, like the man said, it's about 700 years old. A fine place indeed. It's only got a couple of real ales though. There's an S&P and a Bullard's Mild. Because it's in the Norwich brewery, then it's got a lot of keg-type lagers and bitters and that sort of thing. But a very fine 8 out of 10.